Okay, remember that they're changing my voice? I'm being filmed right now. I'm down the street from Diana Park in Morgan Hill, and in this video, I want to help you understand why you're all wrong. First of all, you must understand that every single group on this planet, as groups, could be wrong except for me as an individual. Every single last one of them. Could be wrong about God. It could be wrong about their life paths. I could not be wrong because I've nailed it with moral precision and with the information given. If you're a scientist, you know that I'm right, and if you're someone of God, you know for sure I must be right, and only a dumb person would cheat me out of my right to lead. So let's talk about a controversial issue that many people would fail on. The issue of a boyfriend threatening his girlfriend at the time. Okay, so let's talk about the scenario first. First of all, this person, in this, we'll say hypothetical scenario, used to drive, say we'll call it an hour and a half, to visit his girlfriend 4 or 5 times a week. Okay, he would visit her, buy her food, what have you. He's a little richer than she was. She's poor. She wasn't that good looking. She lived in a town with a lot of attractive females who wear bathing suits and dress in sexually provocative and suggestive manners. The guy happens to be very good looking. Society is shunning him. So immediately society obviously is wrong. Right? Why is he having to drive that far away for a female that he's not that into? And for the purpose of over-explaining for good measure, he's not that into her. So eventually, after they have sex regularly, she has a birthday and she acts up for no reason. Maybe it's connected to him not getting her a gift, maybe it's not. He doesn't understand it. And he's feeling bad. He's drunk and he's in the back seat of a car. And her mom is calling her, and he says, look, sometimes you got to make her wait. You're already late anyway. I don't feel good. I can't drive right now. After she already tried to get him to go inside to the restaurant to eat with her when he was feeling very sick because they were drinking together and he's not feeling good. So then she keeps pressuring him, and she's throwing fits and so on and so forth. She says, okay, if you really got to get home and you know how to drive, she said, I can drive a little bit. Go ahead and drive yourself home and I'll be here in the back seat, right? So she drives herself home. Her mother is standing by the side of the road. And she's very mad. And she's yelling, she's putting her finger, her eye is twitching, she's not thinking straight, she's furious. Okay, he slides into the front seat and is like, what's going on? He wants some more of an explanation. Okay. And he kind of grabs her jacket and says, tell me something before you go. She spills the food that she got from the restaurant to take home all over the ground. And then she runs toward her mother. So he's like, what the hell? Right, this is what I get for letting you drive the car and all this stuff and, coming out here to see you all these times, your birthday, what have you. And, that's what he's thinking. So he drives home, miserable, a little bit tipsy, forced from the situation to drive home sick and buzzing because he doesn't want to stick around for that, and, the situation alarmed him. He drives all the way back home, an hour and a half. Goes to sleep. Okay. When he wakes up in the morning, he tries to contact her. She's acting very bitchy, and she hangs up the phone on him. Now he's infuriated. He's hungover. Okay. He usually smokes marijuana regularly, and it calms him down, and society's treated him so badly that he smokes marijuana, and it's like drinking coffee or something, but there's a certain effect it has this morning that he doesn't quite understand. He's pissed off. He knows he has to page her in order for her to respond to him. So he leaves a message where he says something that is threatening that he doesn't mean. She knows already that he's the type of guy to get angry, and he sees himself as a gangster and so on and so forth. And she, to the point where he, for good measure, having never threatened her before, had her go on a recording and say that if he ever threatens her, that she knows he'd never hurt her. Okay, just for good measure, because of the circumstances and the stress of his life and the particular response. She calls the police, which, risk giving him a felony, risk ruining his whole life. He's in college age, right? He's 19. She's around 18. Risk ruining his whole life with a felony on his record for something that she went on record for and said, hey, I understand. She said, I understand how you are. Which means if later on I let my emotions get the best of me or I feel vindictive, then I have no business calling the cops. Pretty straightforward. Now, some of you would jump to the conclusion, I don't care, there's no excuse for that. Don't you know those people, right? Don't you know those types? They say, I don't care. Under no circumstances should you threaten a female, okay, whether you're 19 or 13. Okay, under no circumstances, and that is not acceptable. Okay? Forget that she put him at risk with the whole situation, not explaining it to him, not making sure he got home safe. She's just like, fuck off, I'm throwing a fit like a bitch. Forget that. All you care about is what was said on the phone when somebody had made sure that she understood that he's the type of guy who gets pissed off and then catches himself and he doesn't understand why. Now here's the kicker. The government later on admits to the person that day they had covertly drugged him. That's why he was sick. Oh, and later on you find out that he's the most righteous person that ever lived. Now, does the society make it up to him? No. They continue to run a psyop on him. Part of the moral of this story is I'm Jesus, the rest of you aren't, so shut the fuck up if you think I'm wrong. That's part of the moral. That's the central part of it. Another part of it is what you don't understand can hurt you. Okay? Your silly judgment, your feminism can hurt you. Your white supremacy, fake savior fucking complex can hurt you. When the actual savior is here, he's right and you're wrong. All of you put together are wrong and I'm right. Never forget that neither. Furthermore, when the case goes to trial, he has to plead no contest. Okay? And she says that she wants him to get treatment. This is a huge part of the story. Okay, so the story isn't over yet, my bad. But it doesn't matter if I said it this way or said it all fluidly. She wants him to get treatment and not punishment is the argument made. After her and her family, or at least her mother, and society were the ones that need fucking help. Now, you know what the help was? Romantic justice is what's needed. He needed to be treated fairly. Society needed to have the moral, mental, spiritual, and romantic clarity to treat him fairly the first time. That is the treatment that was needed. It's even called treatment. Ment meaning mind, as in mentality. They needed to improve their mental prowess and acuity and clarity as a society. That's part of the treatment. And this guy, as a brain surgeon's son, the top martial arts ever possible, okay, he needed true love early on. He needed his rightful fucking place, not white supremacy, Jewish supremacy, and LGBT supremacy, not feminists getting in the fucking way. He needed his rightful place. That is the treatment. Not being drugged and having psyops run on him, okay, because he won't conform to toxic white supremacy, to political agendas, to fake church agendas, to psychotic porn cult, sex cult, sexual agendas, to sickening corporate and fraternity sexual agendas. He needed justice. That was the treatment. He needed his rightful place as the gate in which God's Spirit comes through. That was the treatment. Not your sniveling toxic psych meds and your hypocritical philosophies. It was white Western supremacy-based philosophies that came up with the idea of psychology in the first place, and from there, basically, you get the idea of psychiatry. They never, for one moment in their entire history, had it right. But they think they should drug Jesus into fucking conformity and to be willing to kill him if he doesn't go along with it. So now what is the treatment? The treatment is compensation, justice. The treatment is for attractive women to submit. But do they have the heart to do that? No. And that must be considered when you compensate them in this gold digger society. The treatment is for women to submit to God's Son when they're in a relationship with him especially. And not to be some punk ass feminist bitch. And if you don't fucking know that, who the fuck raised you? A dumb jock slut? A gold-digging bitch? A white supreme? Who the fuck raised you? Some politician? If you don't know that I'm right about this, what kind of fucking useless cunt and the son of a bitch that married her raised you? That is the fucking question.